يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تحلوا شعائر الله ولا الشهر الحرام ولا الهدي ولا القلائد ولا آمين البيت الحرام يبتغون فضلا من ربهم ورضوانا وإذا حللتم فاصطادوا ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم أن صدوكم عن المسجد الحرام أن تعتدوا وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان واتقوا الله إن الله شديد العقاب.
We talked about the first portion of the ayah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, and we said that whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have special instructions for the people of Iman, the call will be made through Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, and this call is being made in Qur'an 89 times. That we can say we have been called by our names, by Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. أُحِلَّتْ لَكُمْ بَهِيمَةُ الْأَنْعَامِ أَوْفُوا بِالْعُقُودِ. The first message is that fulfill your contracts. And we said the word wafa is when you do something fully and completely, not doing it 90%, doing it 100% fully. Ifa. Aqd is a tie. Any knot that we put between two things is aqd. And in Arabic language, every contract is called aqd. And you have heard the word aqd nikah, which means the contract of marriage. So every contract in Arabic language is aqd. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, any contract you have in your life, fulfill it. Of course, as long as the contract is not of haram, then the rights of Allah are above everything else. And just this portion of the ayah, awfu bil uqud, it really affects our full life. Everything we do in our life. Contract with Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala through our shahada, and then accepting the book of Allah, accepting the instructions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and then contracts with each other by making some contracts that we would write down, or by understanding some other contracts that are known to be followed. We live in a neighborhood, we live in a country, we use certain facilities. There is an understanding of what you're going to use it for. Someone goes to the bathroom, public bathrooms, there is a contract. Although it's not written, you didn't sign no papers, but there is an understanding that you're going to use it, but not misuse it. So these are all different types of agreements that are there, be it made verbally or in writing or silent contracts. أُحِلَّتْ لَكُمْ بَهِيمَةُ الْأَنْعَامِ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the animals from the cattle have been made lawful for you, which is telling us, and we talked about it before, but very quick overview so we can move forward. Bahima is all type of animals, especially the four-legged animals. They're called bahima. And an'am are a specific type of those animals, which are camels, cows, goats, and lambs. So these are the four types that are called al-an'am, and there will be ayat in Surah Al-An'am that will specify those. من الإبل اثنين ومن البقر اثنين ومن الضأن اثنين ومن المعز اثنين. So these are an'am. Very important thing that we learn from this portion of the ayah, that when it comes to meat, this is the rule of the Sharia, when it comes to meat, it has to be something that is being made lawful for us. أُحِلَّتْ لَكُمْ. It has been made lawful for you. What does that tell us? That when it comes to consumption of a meat of any animal, you are not allowed to use it until you know that Allah made it halal for you. And this is a general rule that we need to remember with everything outside of animal product. Very important rule to remember in our life, and this will help us solve 99% of our confusions about things that we consume and we eat. Outside of animal products, everything is halal unless Sharia will specify to be haram. Everything is pure and clean unless Sharia will tell us it's not pure and it's not clean. I see a water. Someone says, how do you know the water is halal? I don't need to find a mark over here or a stamp saying halal. Why? Everything outside of the meat product is halal. Someone says, water is spilled on my clothing. Juice, lemon juice, orange juice, any other juice is spilled on my clothes. Someone says your clothes are not pure and clean, tahir. I will say, no, they are tahir. How do I know? Because everything outside of meat product is halal and is tahir, pure, unless you prove it to be haram or impure. You have to prove one of the two things, haram or impure. Are we clear here? I have to explain this, and I'm going to explain this a little bit because it affects us a lot. And inshallah, it will help us a lot. You go to the bathroom. Now, I'm going to raise doubts now. And I know when I say it, you're going to start thinking, what's wrong? He's not right now. He's sleepy or something. But I want you to hear it carefully, digest it, and then later on, you can ask questions about it. Later on means after a month when you forget it. You go to the bathroom. There was water on the floor. You walked into the water, gone on your socks. Are your socks pure, clean, tahir? You can pray with them or not? No. Why? Because it's washroom. Does Sharia say if there is water in the washroom is the najis? But I'm guessing there must be some najasa there. Is it? I'm guessing. Does Sharia allow me to guess in this situation? Someone says, smells bad. Is there a possibility that something else could smell bad also? If the same water was in the room on a carpet, would I say it's najis or I would consider it tahir? Maybe I'm being extra careful right now and calling it najis because it's in the bathroom. This is why I give the example of a bathroom. So remember, general rule, everything is clean unless you're sure is not clean. I'm not asking you not to be careful, but when it comes to the fatwa, when it comes to the ruling, you are traveling. Should I pray? Should I not pray? Go ahead and pray. You can't prove it being najis. My slippers. I want to pray in my slippers because it's too cold. muddy, not clean. Are my slippers tahir or are they najis? I went to the washroom with these slippers. So I'm assuming, now look at the assumption now. Some najasa must be in the bathroom. That najasa must have got on my shoes. After that, my shoes never got cleaned, and this is why my shoes are najis. No. From the Sharia point of view, your shoes are clean, tahir right now. A woman came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When she heard these rulings, she came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said, Ya Rasulullah, inni imra'atun utilu dhayli wa amshi fil makan al-qadr. I'm a woman that keep my garment below my feet. Keep the garment below the feet. So when I walk, my feet are not exposed and no other man can see my feet. I don't want to change the topic, but sometime when opportunities come, we need to grab them also. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked about not having the garment go below the ankle, he said women are exempted. So one of the Sahabiyat asked, how long can we keep it? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, up to the bottom of your feet, you can keep it. Salama radiyallahu anha said, إِذَنْ تَنْكَشِفُ قَدَمِي. If I keep it up to there when I walk, my feet may be exposed, and I don't like that. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, يُطِيلُهُنَّ shibran. You can have it up to one hand span below the feet. This is for the purpose of hijab and satr, so that they cover themselves properly. So this woman says, Ya Rasulullah, I keep my garment very long. It's dragging on the ground when I walk. وَأَمْشِي فِي الْمَكَانِ الْقَدْرِ. I have to pass through an area where there is a lot of dirt. People throw, in those days, there were areas where people will throw their trash over there. So it's a dump site, you can say. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one way he could have explained to her, how can you prove it? There is no proof, it's tahir. But, sometimes you look at the situation of a person. You look at the person, this is not a person that will understand from this point of view. You can tell him as much as you want, but still at the end of the conversation he says, yeah, but this is okay, or this is not okay. So Prophet ﷺ asked her, after walking through that dirty place, do you walk on a clean area also? She said, yes. He says, يُطَهِّرُهُ مَا بَعْدَهُ. The area after that will make it tahir. If you think walking through that dirt will make it najis, then walking after that area will make it tahir. Go ahead. Use it for prayers and everything. Don't worry about it. What is he trying to tell us? Don't doubt. And as I said, in reality, now, from the Sharia point of view, is there any concept of if my garment gets into najasa, because there was najasa here, so I rub it against that part of the floor and it's going to become tahir? There is nothing like this. That is only to help her get rid of that doubt that she's having, that no, because I walked through this. And you ask her, how do you know that this is najis? Oh, people throwing all the trash, it smells so bad. Still you want to tell her, this is not najis until you prove that there was najasa in this trash. So, that's the rule. Dirt, general dirt, is not najis. Garbage that you're taking out of your home, general dirt, is not najis. So generally, the garbage bag that you're carrying from your home into the garbage can is not najis. Now sometime, there may be some liquid in there, and it spills over us, and it smells very bad, and I feel, I have to change my clothes. Yes, change it for the purpose of being clean, but as far as tahara and najasa, it's tahir. Very, very important. So generally, everything is tahir until you prove it. Until you prove it being najis. That's the rule. You go to someone's home and you say, I want to pray. You say, hey brother, come, pray. And you look at the carpet, there is a stain, big stain over there. Quickly you smell, it looks like from one of the children. The rule for you at this moment that this is tahir, because you are not sure it is from that. It could be something else. If you ask the brother, he may tell you, oh yeah, yesterday I put my garbage bag over here. Could be something. You always get the benefit of doubt, remember. You always get the benefit of doubt. In tahara and najasa, all of these things. So, generally everything is clean. Where do we learn this from? هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. He created everything on this earth for you. Everything is clean for you, okay for you. Unless you prove it being not clean at this time, then of course is not clean. Let me just extend this so that we are here to understand some rulings of Sharia. So let me extend it to the next step. Sometime we come to the salah and I'm thinking, do I have wudu? I don't have wudu. I have wudu, I don't have wudu. And we start doubting ourselves. So now, do I have wudu or I don't have wudu? Huh? Okay. This is the right answer. So all you have to think is, what you remember doing the last? I prayed Zohar. I don't remember using bathroom after that. But did I break my wudu? No, you have wudu. Because you remember having wudu for Zohar and you don't remember breaking it. So what are you certain about? You're certain about making it. You are not certain about breaking it. So you're sure about one thing, not sure about the other. Whatever you're sure about, that will count. Now, you remember using the bathroom. But now, a doubt comes that, did I make wudu after that? I think I do. I did make wudu, but I don't remember. Now you don't have wudu because you're sure of breaking it, not sure of making it. So whatever you're certain about, that is the thing that will count. Sometime, and this happens to some people, when they start their salah, a doubt starts coming. Did I wash my hand? I get this question sometime. In salah, the thought starts coming to me, did I wash my hand? I don't know if I've washed my feet or not. Did I forget washing my feet? Did I forget washing my face? Something comes to the mind. The simple rule of the Sharia is, you know how to make wudu, don't you? You know how to make wudu. So if you know how to make wudu, then for sure you made it right. If there is a reason for you to think that, no, if I would have washed my hand, I would lift up my sleeves, and I don't remember, I don't think I did that, then of course it's different. But if you don't remember any reason for not washing your hand, and now in salah, shaitan comes in and says, I don't think you washed your hands. This is all from shaitan. Doubts are from shaitan. And Sharia doesn't want us to go with doubts. Sometimes people, after making wudu, they start doubting themselves. Did I break my wudu? I think I broke my wudu. I think something came out. If you think, you know for sure you made wudu, but you think something came out, you're not sure something came out, you have wudu. Don't even look, continue with your salah. These things will go a long way. I have seen people going crazy after these things because, no, I think I broke my wudu. Then the person makes wudu and comes back. And then again, I think I broke it again. How many times are you going to repeat the same salah? And this is the trick of shaitan. That you should be careful. Although I know the ruling, but still I'm going to be more careful. I'm going to make the wudu again. But how many times are you going to repeat the wudu and salah in a day? After some time, the person says, I don't think I can keep up with salah anymore, so I don't want to pray. This is where shaitan wants to get with these things. So no doubts, no room for doubts. Always go with certainty. Whatever you're certain about, this is what you are. This is what the ruling is about that situation. So this is for general rule, everything other than meat product. Meat product, everything is unlawful unless you prove it being lawful. Remember this. Goats, chickens, simple question. They're halal or haram? They're halal. Okay. I go outside and I see a chicken running around and I break the wing of the chicken and eat it. Halal or haram? Haram. Why? Huh? No, it's mine. Okay. Say it was my chicken. It wasn't yours. Because it's not being slaughtered. It's not being slaughtered yet. Is it? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, any portion of the animal that has been cut off before slaughtering the animal is haram. People in Arabia, in Jahiliyyah, what they used to do is they used to cut the tail of the lamb because they liked the fat. So in order to eat that fat, instead of slaughtering the lamb, they would just cut the tail of it. And they will eat it. Let it heal and have another tail. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this is haram. Any portion of the living animal that was cut off from the animal will not be halal for consumption. What does that tell us? That if I see any animal, although it's an animal that is allowed for us to eat, but I have to make sure that it was slaughtered properly in order for it to be halal for me to eat. See what we're seeing here? So in normal situation, that was not halal for me. My own animal, my own goat, my own cow is not halal for me yet unless I slaughter it properly. Then it will become halal. If a person will take a sword and will cut the cow into two pieces, halal or haram? Haram. Because I didn't cut it properly. So, I have to know, because now in its original form, as it is, the original form of the goat is that it should be alive. The original form of the chicken is it will be alive. So original form, consumption is not allowed. Therefore, now, in order for me to consume it, I have to be certain that it was slaughtered properly. So these are two different rulings. For general items, everything is allowed until someone will prove it being not allowed. For meat is not allowed until you prove it being allowed. These are two different rules. And this is what we learn from the ayah here, from the word uhillat lakum. It has been made halal for you. What? The certain type of animals. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never says, I made water halal for you. I made oranges halal for you. I made mangoes halal for you. Doesn't name those things. Why? As I said, the rule is they are all halal. Animals, meat is not halal until Allah will tell us what is halal. So what is halal? we need to know two things about it. One is the type of animals. What type of animals? Someone will get a dog, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, slaughters it properly, and he feeds us. Is it halal? No. So, type of animal, that's number one. Number two, the method of slaughtering. When it comes to the animal and meat, then we have to know two things. Type of animal and method of slaughtering. And in the method of slaughtering, a third thing will come. And that is the person who's slaughtering. Someone who's an idol worshipper. He learns the method of slaughtering according to the Sharia, and he takes a chicken. He's idol worshipper. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. And he cuts the chicken. Is it halal for us? Of course not. So, three things. The animal itself, the method of slaughtering, and the person who is slaughtering. All these three things have to be in place for a meat to be halal. Everything else is halal unless you prove it haram. Tahir unless you prove it najis. But the meat product is not allowed until you prove it being allowed for consumption. أُحِلَّتْ لَكُمْ بَهِيمَةُ الْأَنْعَامِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the animals from the cattle have been made lawful for you, you can eat them. Goats, sheep, lambs, cows, they are made halal for you. إِلَّا مَا يُتْلَى عَلَيْكُمْ. Except for those that I will tell you later, that will be recited to you. For example, animal died on its own. That animal, haram. Your own chicken is with your money, but it's haram. إِلَّا مَا يُتْلَى عَلَيْكُمْ غَيْرَ مُحِلِّ الصَّيْدِ وَأَنْتُمْ حُرُمٌ. Provided you do not consider hunting being lawful in the state of haram. This is talking about the person who's slaughtering. There was a person going for Hajj or Umrah. He was in his ihram. On the way, he sees a deer. He takes his arrow or gun out and he shoots the deer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, deer is halal, hunting deer is allowed, that meat should be allowed for consumption, but in this situation is not allowed, is haram, and his action was haram. Also, he gets sin for hunting because he is not in a situation where anything that he would hunt will be allowed. So he was not allowed to hunt. This is, condition in the person that is slaughtering is not fulfilled. The method was okay. The animal was right. The person was wrong. If the same person was not in ihram, or he has a partner that was not in ihram, and he would shoot the animal, it would be halal for him and for everyone else. But now because this person does not fulfill the condition of slaughtering, therefore this halal, that animal that was supposed to be halal and the method that was used was halal, is still, that animal is haram, is not allowed for consumption. The person who slaughtered it wasn't right. Inna Allah yahkumu ma yurid. Surely Allah ordains whatever He likes and He wills. This is introduction, and Allah at the very, very beginning told us this statement is very important. Because the next ayah will tell us about type of animals that are haram and those things. And right away, the questions will start coming. Why? Why pork is haram? Why blood is haram? Why that animal is haram? Why this haram and why this haram? And of course then we will start explaining. But then the person will object and object. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you want to know why, remember one thing. Inna Allah yahkumu ma yurid. Allah will order you to do whatever He wants, not what you want. And this is something very, very important for us to remember. Also, let me explain it briefly. Many times we like to know the Hikmah. Hikmah, wisdom behind a ruling. And alhamdulillah, many times we do understand a lot of wisdoms. We will talk about some of those. Why pork is haram? There are certain wisdoms behind it. But if someone is not willing to accept this wisdom, can he challenge the ruling? The reason it's haram is because Allah said it's haram. Period. End of the talk. End of the topic. Why is it haram? Because Allah said it's haram. The person brings 1,000 different arguments for this thing being halal. We will say that's your understanding, but we do not obey the wisdom. We are not following the hikmah and the wisdom. We are following the hukum and the ruling of Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what we need to understand. Not the hikmah, is the hukum. Yahkum. Hakim, every hukum is full of wisdom. But I don't have to understand it. Because there are so many things I will never be able to understand. And it's a fact. All of us, we can understand certain things. There are other things we cannot understand. So we all cannot understand the hikmah of Al-Hakim subhanahu wa ta'ala. So never go for the rulings on the basis of hikmah. Always on the basis of hukum. When we want to understand the halal and haram, is not about because of these reasons. It's because Allah said is not allowed. Done. Now, can we learn the reasons? Why not? Learn. It will make your knowledge stronger. But not knowing the hikmah should never stop us from following the hukum. In every sharia, and remember this, in every sharia, any religion, any code of law anywhere in the world, no one can claim that we understand all the reasons behind it. People will always have objections about why do we have to do it this way? Why do I have to do it this way? Why is not this way? But the main thing is obedience. After that, let's sit and discuss if we can understand the reason behind it also. And whether we understand it or not, still the ruling will remain as it is. If you open the Bible, for example, and we see certain rulings that are mentioned in the Bible, and we start debating with those who follow that Bible about why God says this. And you keep on challenging it. At the end, that person will have to say, oh, it's because in the book. But I don't know why we are scared many times to say it's because in the book. That's it. That's the real answer. Because God said it's not allowed, that's it, it's not allowed. God said it's allowed, it's allowed. And the reality is, the objections that people have most of the time, even those objections, you can object to the objection itself. It's a fact. Think about it this way. There is no objection about which you can say there is no question on the objection. You can always question the objection. So even that objection is not based fully on hikmah and wisdoms. There are a lot of people who will not agree with his objection. So hikmahs are totally different. Let me give you one simple example. A person came and he said, why pork is haram? So we asked him why it should be halal. He said, pork and goat are alike. There is no difference. And then he himself goes on to say, you will say that pork eats all the najasa, all the dirt, but it was in the old days. Nowadays, we just give it a pure feed, clean feed, whatever, all the reasonings. So why it should be halal? Because it looks like, it's just like goats. What's the difference between the goat and the pork and the pig? Pig and goat are alike. Many times, size-wise, they are same. Sometimes Even the look is similar. So, see now, what's the main reason behind this person's mind, in this person's mind behind this being halal? That they are alike, isn't it? Okay. Tell him, ask him, you have a wife? Yes. Do you have a sister? Yes. Do they look alike? And I don't want to go further. But you understand the answer now. Not every two things that look similar, you always have the same use for them. The use of everything is different. So, just based on because there is another woman on the street, she looks like my wife. So you're going to go and grab her hand, sister, you look like my wife, mashallah. You'll get a slap. So here, same thing. You're going to hold the pig and tell it, to me you look like a goat. It's going to give you a slap. That I'm not for that use. The point is, I'm sure now we can understand that even the objections are not something that you can say there is no reason, that every reason behind it is understandable. Every objection has certain objections about the objection itself. You can raise questions about the objection itself. So, finally, who's going to decide? Of course, Ahkamul Hakimeen, Rabbul Alameen. His decision is final. We will keep on arguing forever. We will never come to a conclusion. Forget about halal and haram. If today we want to decide that tomorrow when we get together, should we serve pizza or serve biryani? Maybe we'll argue for 3-4 hours. And at the end, we will continue serving whatever we used to serve before. So, for us, this is our situation. So, Ahkamul Hakimeen's decision is always final. Inna Allah yahkumu ma yurid. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. O you who believe. La tuhillu sha'air Allah. Do not consider the marks of Allah, the signs of Allah to be halal. Or we can say, do not violate the sanctity of the signs of Allah. Wal shahr al haram, nor the sacred months. Wal al hadi, nor of the sacrificial animals. Wal al qala'id, nor of the garlands. Wala amin al bayt al haram, nor the sacred or the sanctity of those who are heading towards the sacred house. يَبْتَغُونَ فَضْلًا مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَرِضْوَانًا, seeking the grace of the Lord and His pleasure. I will stop here right now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a list of things. He says, don't disrespect these things. Always keep the adab and respect of these things. We will take them one by one and maybe only one or two today. So as you see, there is a lot of detail behind these rulings. And we need to really digest them, understand them, put them in place in our mind, so that the next one can fit in place. La tuhillu, or you who believe, la tuhillu sha'air Allah. Sha'air Allah. Sha'air is the plural of sha'iratun. What does sha'ira mean? Sha'ira is any sign. Anything that can be used as a sign to point out something, to mark something. Just a line, a chalk, a paint, a signboard, everything is sha'ira. So every sign that is pointing something out is called sha'ira. The plural of that is sha'air, signs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there are certain things in this world that are known to be sha'airullah, the signs of Allah. Signs of a country, the flag of the country, the uniform of the police officers, the uniform of the army people, certain marks on the cars. These are sha'air. These are the sha'air of the country. Companies have their own sha'air. They have their logos. This is the sha'ira of this specific company. These are sha'air. If someone cannot get to the building of that company, and he cannot talk to the people in charge and responsible for the company, representatives of the company, and he wants to show his anger from a distance, say that company is in this part of the world and someone is sitting far away in another part of the world, he cannot come here, he cannot talk to none of those people, he cannot get in contact with anyone in that company, so he will take a logo of that company and maybe burn it, spit on it, walk on it, step on it, do something to show that he is insulting it. So insult to that logo, to that sign, is an insult to the company. This is called sha'ira. So anything that is a sign of something special is called sha'ira. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there are certain things that are known as sha'airullah. The signs of Allah means the signs of the deen of Allah. For example, Kaaba. Very, very clearly is sha'airullah. Hajar al-Aswad in the Kaaba is of sha'airullah. Maqam Ibrahim is sha'airullah. Safa and Marwa is from sha'airullah. Haram itself is sha'airullah. And then you move forward. Masajid anywhere in the world, these are all sha'airullah. Every masjid has to be respected, being the house of Allah. So this is sha'airullah. Ibadah in the masajid is of sha'airullah. Salah is of sha'airullah. Any ibadah that being done collectively is sha'airullah. Hijab for women is sha'airullah. Beard according to the sunnah is of sha'airullah. Things that will show connection to the deen of Allah are called sha'airullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La tuhillu sha'airullah. Make sure Allah's sha'air and the signs of the deen are never being disrespected by you. And the order is not to the kuffar. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe. We have to make sure that sha'airullah are being respected. And when the ummah, God forbid, will get into the position of disrespecting sha'airullah, then this is not that ummah that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam promised so many things will be having in this dunya and akhirah, is not for those, it's for the ummah that respect sha'airullah. And let me give you simple examples. We are in a gathering. From our point of view, it's a wedding, so it's a happy occasion, and therefore we are here for celebration only. And someone goes up to call the adhan. And we see 10, 15 people sitting on the side and laughing at that person calling the adhan. This is what the ayah is talking about. You are disrespecting sha'airullah. You are disrespecting the adhan. Adhan is one of the major sha'airullah. And you are disrespecting that. And you will hear the comments about it. Is he a mullah? Since when you became mullah? And have someone who holds a good status in the community. Who holds a good status in the community. If he will go up and call the adhan, that will be even worse. The way people will make fun of this person. That since when you became imam, you became mullah. So, any kind of disrespect to sha'airullah is disrespect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And just so that we understand, I get sometimes some youth, they come and tell us that, I started hijab and my parents are saying, no, you don't look good. Who's gonna marry you with this hijab? This is disrespect to sha'airullah within our own homes. Or a young man who is growing his beard and is being told not to do that because he doesn't look good. This is disrespect to sha'airullah. So if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will come to us today, we will tell him, you don't look good. This is disrespect to Sha'airullah. So anything that is known to be the sign of the deen, that will make the person look like he's Muslim and is following something from deen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, never have that thing being disrespected. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives an example in Qur'an, in Surah Wash-Shamsi wa Duhaha. A whole nation of Thamud was destroyed on the basis of what? They killed the camel. Was that camel so important? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us the reason. فَقَالَ لَهُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ. This is the camel of Allah. Became the sha'ira. Became the sign of Allah. Because Rasulullah told them, نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ. This is the camel of Allah. And when they disrespected that camel, when they attacked that camel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wiped out the whole nation. Because that was naqatullah. أن المساجد لله. Masajid belong to Allah. This is why the hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, من عادى لي وليا فقد آذنته بالحرب. A person who would have animosity against any of my wali, which means a pious person, فقد آذنته بالحرب. I, Allah, declare a war against that person. That this person is trying to be a good believer and you attack this person, I'm going to have a war against him. So, Sha'airullah are very, very important to be respected. And we really need to work hard on making sure that the respect of these things is being preserved as we are gradually losing it. I'm so happy that I'm talking about this at this situation that we are in, that we haven't lost it, alhamdulillah, but it's getting there and we need this reminder from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Respecting the masajid, making sure people who are doing the ibadah not being disturbed. We don't do anything in the masajid that's against the respect of the masajid. We make sure that people who are doing any kind of ibadah are having the peace of doing the ibadah. When adhan is being called, we have respect for the adhan. When salah is being performed, we have respect for the salah. These are all sha'air. And we have to make sure that we preserve it and we hold firmly onto it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Qur'an tells us, in Surah Al-Hajj, ذَلِكَ وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Whoever will have the proper respect of Sha'airullah, that is a sign of the taqwa in your heart. Subhanallah. فَإِنَّهَا مِن تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Respecting Sha'airullah, respecting the Qur'an. And this is, again, good thing I remembered. Sometimes we see people picking up the Qur'an, putting it here, putting it there. The person wants to go out and back, and he puts the Qur'an on the floor and he goes back. We need to show the respect to it. Show the proper respect to everything that is respectable. I'll just tell you a joke, which is true, happened with me. Give us a little understanding of it, because sometimes we need more lessons. No, I think it's too early. There was a brother. He used to come to the masjid, not here, not in this masjid, somewhere else. He used to come to the masjid and he knew I don't like to see Qur'an on the floor, so he intentionally used to put it there. And every time he would come, hold the Qur'an, read a little bit, then he will put it down there. I used to take something and put the Qur'an on it, and he will take that out and put it down. Anyway, this happened to me in the Haram of Medina also. That someone came and he put the Qur'an on the slippers. So I told him, brother. He says, who said this is haram? I said, no, this is not the place for me to say anything. That's it. So we ended the conversation there. That he wants a proof for respect for other. I can put my foot on his face and then I can ask him for a proof that says haram. You don't need a proof for that. You should know what is adab. Anyway, So one day this brother invited us. The same brother I was talking about, he invited us to his home. I went to his home and there were people sitting on the couches. I went and sat on the floor. He said, "No, brother, come sit here." He points to one of the couches. I said, "No." He said, "No, brother, you're the imam, you come up." I said, "Subhanallah, imam is supposed to sit up and you put the Qur'an down?" So he says, "Now I understood." He said, "Until now I didn't realize how respectable things are supposed to be up. Now I understand." So alhamdulillah, he understood. But the point is, adab for all of these things is very important. وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ, whoever will honor and respect شَعَائِرُ اللَّهِ, the signs of Allah, فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. This is, Allah says, this is the sign of having taqwa in your heart. Otherwise you don't have any taqwa of the heart. In another ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ وَالْبُدْنَ جَعَلْنَاهَا لَكُم مِّن شَعَائِرِ اللَّهِ لَكُمْ فِيهَا خَيْرٌ فَاذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهَا صَوَافَ فَإِذَا وَجَبَتْ جُنُوبُهَا فَكُلُوا مِنْهَا وَأَطْعِمُوا الْقَانِعَ وَالْمُعْتَرَ. He says, even respect the animal that is being taken over there for sacrifice, because it became sha'airullah. It became the sign of Allah. Don't respect those animals. And as over here also, the next ayahs are telling us about respecting the animals. Respecting the animals that are being brought to the haram to be slaughtered after Hajj or after Umrah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders us to respect those animals also because now they became sha'airullah. Inshallah, we will go into those details in our next sessions. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.